Dr. Tom Roselle live right now, 6:30 WMAL.
We're talking about GERD this Wednesday evening. Dr. Leonard Poe will be your host and presenter at the Roselle Center for Healing. He's going to be talking about GERD, Gastroesophageal Reflux Disease, 7:30 p.m. right here. And I'm telling you, you're going to have the opportunity to find out how to fix this thing. You don't need to be on the drugs because you're losing your life. Give our office a call, 703-698-7117. That's 703-698-7117. Dr. Poe, you're going to present this Wednesday evening, and, you know, I made a brash statement now. You're going to save your life by showing up here. The truth of it is I'm not lying.
No.
You know, GERD causes some monstrous problems in the body. Let's talk about those just a little bit.
It really breaks down, and this is one of the pieces that I tell patients when they come in, is that you've got to remember your body's always on this constant cycle of breakdown and buildup. And every day of your life, old tissue is breaking down. And the body you have now is different from the one you had 5 years ago. It's going to be different from the one you'll have 5 years from now. With that breakdown cycle, the body's very, very good at breaking it down. It's going to break down that old tissue. The real question is, how well is it going to build it back up? And that's why we see people age so differently. That's why some people age and they look fantastic and they look very graceful and beautiful. And then you see some people age and, you know, you would swear the guy was, 70 years old and you find out he's 35. I mean, that's why we see that difference. If you don't have the building blocks there to make the new tissue, you're not going to make it. And you're only going to rejuvenate 80%, 70%, who knows, anything less than, 100% is not a good thing. You're breaking down.
I wouldn't think so. I would think that, that we all want to strive for maximization. We get into a headspace where we think that a pill can fix anything. And instead of taking responsibility for turning our lives around, the body was meant to operate at maximum functional capacity from the day that we are born to the day that we die. Unfortunately, because of injury patterns, because of our dietary patterns and things we bring in from the outside, and as Dr. Mladenoff was saying a minute ago, because of the stress patterns and how it begins to cascade and shut things down, we break down. Our bodies begin to degenerate. Our vertebrae subluxate. They go out of position. Now they cause this vicious neurological reflex pattern, ending up in many things, including GERD. You've seen patients, as I have, and they've come into the office after a car accident and apparently never really having a symptom before. It doesn't mean that they're well. We've said that many times. So how does a car accident all of a sudden end up causing a digestive function problem, a GERD type of problem, with all the side problems that are associated with it?
And there's several different ways we can do that. We talk about the different nerves that go through and they innervate parts of the stomach, parts of the digestional tract. You talked a lot earlier about the vagus nerve that comes off the brainstem that goes down and innervates lots of different systems of the body, but it innervates how that diaphragm works. It innervates how the stomach works. If the skull is subluxated, or it's not sitting the way it's supposed to sit, and it's shifted, and that vagus nerve is being impinged or it's being altered, the communication signal between the brain and the stomach, or the brain and that lower esophageal valve, or the brain and the diaphragm, if the communication pattern's off, it's not going to work right. You're going to have a breakdown. If you hit your head, let's say you hit your head on the steering wheel and the temporal bones get locked up and they're not moving with normal respiration patterns like they should, then there's no initial signal when you chew that tells the stomach that, hey, food's coming down, start making stomach acid. You get the middle of the back, you get that whiplash reflex, and the spinal nerves throughout the thoracic spine, they get jammed, they get irritated. You're not going to digest food properly.
One of the interesting things is that functionally the body has to work at optimum levels for it to produce what it was designed to produce, from a genetic point of view. But because of the wear and tear and slings and arrows of life, from accidents to postural positions to the stress patterns to diet, it gets screwed up.
You're taking major trauma, but there's the micro trauma of life of what we do every day. We sit in chairs, we stare in front of computers, we're bent over for hours throughout the day, and that catches up just as fast as an accident.
Absolutely. There's the nerve called a phrenic nerve. It comes from the second and third nerves of the neck, and they combine to allow the diaphragm to work properly. Diaphragm actually has that nerve and has nerves from the spinal system between the shoulder blades. When those nerves aren't operational because they have pressure on it, diaphragm is either going to be stuck or it's going to go into spasm. And that can give us a lot of the symptoms that we're talking about now.
And the thing, too, to remember, when we talk about nerves, because everybody thinks immediately of pain, And there's different parts of nerves. There are different type of nerves. Some nerves control motor function. Some nerves are sensory function. Some nerves are autonomic function. And we're much less aware when there's a problem with a nerve that's for autonomic function that controls things like respiration or heart rate or digestive function, all those other things, because we don't necessarily feel pain when those nerves are agitated or damaged. And that's where we talk about just because you don't have symptoms doesn't mean you're functioning right.
I had a patient came in about a week and a half ago, and this poor woman had been on Prilosec for probably the last 10, 12 years. And
even the drug companies don't recommend that.
No. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's awful.
It's terrible.
And what her problem is at this point, she has advanced osteoporosis. She has anemia from the fact that she's not producing enough B12 to produce red blood cells, and generally just hurts all over, feels lousy, and it never happened until she started taking this medication. And her physician hasn't taken it off of her. You have to have this. You have to take this for the rest of your life. You don't have to do anything for the rest of your life.
Oh, it's not going to be a very long one.
No, it's going to be a very short one.
And you're going to have all sorts of degenerative diseases that go along with it. It's a terrible drug. The proton pump inhibitors are terrible drugs.
They cause mess-ups in not only the things that we're talking about, but also cardiac problems and the like. You don't have to believe me. Go to drugs.com, put the medication in there, look it up, see what the side effects are, see what the contraindications are, and particularly when they start compounding themselves with other medications that you're taking. The end Pandora's box is awful, but there's a way out. You can fix these things, you can turn them around, you can heal your digestive system, you can make huge differences in how your body works.
Very easily. That's the worst part about it. It's so easy to do. It really is.
Welcome back. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. You're listening to Dr. Tom Roselle Live. We've been here at 888-630-WMAL, and always love to take your phone calls and your critiques and your comments. If you would like to contact our office and get some straight-up information personally, all you have to do is either give us a call at 888, that's the number here, I'm so sorry, 703-698-7117, which is also the number that you're going to call to schedule for Dr. Poe's informative presentation this Wednesday evening on GERD, April the 6th, 7:30 p.m. in our office. But you can do it by going to our website, rosellecare.com. That's ROSELLECARE.com, and we will get back to you. If you call the office, I promise you I'll have one of my staff members, or I will call you personally, and we will try to answer your question as best we possibly can. We're here to serve you, and that's why we do this program. Dr. Poe, let's talk a little bit more about this ridiculousness called GERD, because the majority, it has nothing to do with acid reflux. It has nothing to do with too much acid. It has to do with imbalances. Microbiology, meaning the normal good bacteria that should be in the intestinal tract, and bad guys that get into it have a whole lot to do with the symptom presentation.
It does.
How so?
When the stomach's not functioning the way, that's really the first gatekeeper. I mean, that's really the guy that protects you, is the stomach. Okay, that's the one that keeps most of that stuff from getting down any further. And for varying reasons, whatever it might be, when it's not working, and you start to get a buildup of bad things in there, and by bad things, bad bacteria, parasites, molds, fungus, candida. We see a lot of patients in this office that have problems with candida. It's the area we live in. If you live here long enough, you're going to pick some up. And when those imbalances get in there,
I like to call it a fungus factory.
When those imbalances get in there, they got to eat something. Okay, so a portion of the nutrients that you're getting is going to go to them. Those things crave sugar. They love sugar. You wonder why. God, I got to have sugar. I got to have something sweet in the afternoon just to get me through. There's a lot of different reasons for that. Usually, one of them though is that, hey, there's somebody else inside you that's saying, tell this guy to give me some more sugar because I'm hungry here. So we see different cravings like that. The pH gets thrown off. The total health of the digestive tract, it goes down. Not to mention that whatever portion of the immune system you have left in there, it's going to wipe it out. You're going to continue to fight this thing and fight this thing and fight this thing until you just don't have anything there left to fight it with. Your immune factors are just depleted. And that's when we start seeing that not only, and it's a funny thing that we always tie in back and forth with here, not only problems with the intestinal tract, but you start seeing problems with the respiratory tract, because those two are tied in together as well.
It is.
And we talk about allergies and asthma and things like that. Those will go hand in hand.
People who have bad guts will often show repetitive problems with their lungs, whether it's repetitive pneumonias, whether it's repetitive colds, but it goes to the lungs and it goes there quickly. It's because the energy's down.
One of the patterns I see with children all the time, especially with children, because it's just much more pronounced and profound, is that children that come in that have been diagnosed are 2 years old with asthma. And, it's not because there's anything wrong with the lungs. It's because the gut is so messed up and is depleted and it's full of candida and it's affecting the lungs now.
That's awful. It's one of the most heart-wrenching things when you see a child already becoming predisposed to all kinds of other problems. You know they're going to have it as they get older, and it can be stopped. It can be turned around completely. This Wednesday evening, if you are having problems, anybody in your family is having problems with intestinal tract problems, but GERD, that you've been diagnosed or you think you have GERD, you have this acid problem, please attend April the 6th, 7:30 p.m., Dr. Leonard Poe. You're going to learn how to stop this once and for all. You're going to be able to turn it around. Give our office a call at 703-698-7117. That's 703-698-7117. We're here every Sunday at 12 noon. For one reason and one reason only, to give you an option, an opportunity to change your life, to heal without drugs, without surgery. I'll see you next week and every week. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. Bye.
Hi, this is Dr. Tom Roselle. If you're looking for a wellness and healthcare environment to showcase your business, products, and services, consider being a wellness partner of Dr. Tom Roselle Live and the Roselle Center for Healing. From in-show advertising to on-site events and digital marketing, we have several offerings that can highlight your business with a well-received and established audience. For more information, visit WMAL.com, keyword Roselle, that's ROSELLE, and click on Become a Sponsor. Health is a do-it-yourself program. That's reality and the title of my new book. This is Dr. Tom Roselle. Health is a do-it-yourself program is a most understandable introduction to natural health care. My book will take you step by step through why the body breaks down and gets sick, but also how it repairs itself. You will finally understand the often confusing world of natural care. Order it today by going to Amazon.com or from our website, RoselleCare.com. That's RoselleCare.com.
Did you know that routine mammograms can increase radiation exposure to breast tissue 1,000 times over a chest X-ray? Now consider a simple, non-invasive, and totally safe medical procedure approved by the FDA since 1982 that can detect breast cancer 5 to 8 years before it can be visualized on a mammogram. Infrared thermographic imaging can accurately detect the initial signs of breast cancer as increased blood supply and metabolic rate, which is recorded as heat. Why expose yourself to radiation when accurate and safe medical detection is available? Call the Thermography Center of Fairfax to schedule a breast exam today at 703-948-7248. That's 703-943-7248. For more information, visit www.thermographyscan.net. That's thermographyscan.net for the Thermography Center of Fairfax.
The Roselle Center for Healing is a proud supporter of breast cancer awareness and reminds you to conduct a monthly breast self-examination and a thermographic breast scan as part of your annual wellness checkup.